The summit is organized by Knowledge Economy Forum and DW Akademie in partnership with Estonian Ministry of Education, Salto Participation and Information Resource Center, Baltic Center for Media Excellence, Latvian Academy of Culture, Lithuania National Education Agency, and Vilnius Institute for Policy Analysis, and is funded by Foreign Office of Federal Republic of Germany. And I'm happy to say that firstly, I will give stage to His Excellency Matthias Sonn, German Ambassador to Lithuania.
Good afternoon, everybody. I hope I am well audible. I'm hoping I'm close enough to the microphone. And I am very happy to be with you all, seeing that there's quite a large number of participants. So my few opening remarks welcome you all, participants, guests, friends, dear friends, and I thank you very much for giving me the opportunity to welcome you and to participate in the opening of today's conference. Let me start perhaps with a special thank you to our organizers, the Knowledge Economy Forum and the Deutsche Welle Academy, represented by its director, Natascha Schwanke, and our project manager, Evaldas Rupkus, for all their hard preparation effort. The subject, of course, is highly relevant to me. I belong visibly to a generation for whom information literacy in our day is highly relevant and an actual issue. But it is also, beyond being a challenge, an absolute pleasure to have these instruments of communication that even 10, 15 years ago, I think none of us would have dreamt of. And I believe we can all be grateful, particularly in these days of a pandemic infections, that we have the ability to do conferences in this way. I know many more partners are involved, only to name the Chancellor of the Ministry of Education here in Lithuania, Tomas Daukantas. Hello, Tomas, who is with me on the opening panel, but also experts from the Estonian Ministry of Education, the Baltic Center for Media Excellence, the Latvian Academy of Culture, the Lithuanian Institute for Education, and others.
Dabar matai?
I wonder if there are other microphones open at the moment. And if that is the case, can they hear me? Can you hear me at the moment? Right, I'll just continue. It seems like rather a no-brainer, but let me say it nonetheless. Disinformation works. The COVID pandemic has shown once again how easily disinformation can damage the fabric of our societies. The Baltic states have been in the crosshairs of disinformation campaigns for many years. These activities are happening as we speak, while we speak, well-financed and triggered to destabilize this region. So the topic on our agenda today is not only highly relevant, it is of utmost importance, and I'm very happy that Germany is part of this endeavor. In order to take informed decisions, we need what today often is called information literacy. There are many things such as fact-checking skills, basic digital knowledge, and last but not least, an educated use of the media. Also, by the way, something that is not dependent on modern times, modern technologies, a critical mind which comes from a suitable education, which leads young people to use their own minds. Even though young people in general are well equipped, at least technically, in using digital media, they are still vulnerable for well-constructed and targeted manipulative narratives. Therefore, I fully concur with the call that we need to start early and look to our education systems to lay ground. Indeed, we need more public awareness of the need to integrate these capabilities into our educational curricula and even beyond. If we take non-formal education through youth or social workers and trainers into account. Needless to say that media professionals do have a particular responsibility in this regard. To provide fact-based, verifiable, pluralistic, high-quality information is not a fast sell. I would assume that there is ample room to share best practices on this today and tomorrow. Indeed, the idea of establishing a network between stakeholders in the Baltic states in order to continue this exercise and cooperate closely seems to be the next logical step. The German government provides financial support to a variety of activities. The Deutsche Welle is our main partner if it comes to our cooperation with Baltic media groups. Actually, we do have a program in place which is based on a joint declaration of the Baltic and German foreign ministers from 2015. The objective is to strengthen exchange between our countries and to foster resilience with a broader perspective. Media and information literacy is only one aspect. We focus on civil society actors as well. Our projects with Lithuanian partners are meant to work against cliches, stereotypes, and exclusion. We would like to overcome closed and biased information bubbles, cooperate on issues such as vocational training and support to minorities, and to marginalized communities. With this quick glimpse on our German engagement, I would like to conclude my opening remarks and no longer stand in the way of our discussion, of your discussion. But before doing so, let me wish you an exciting and instructive conference. And most importantly, stay well, stay healthy. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Matthias. Thank you for this welcome. Now it is time for a short welcome speech by Mr. Tomas Daukantas, who is Chancellor of Lithuanian Ministry of Education, Science and Sport.
Hello to everyone, dear Ambassador. It's an honor to be here. We are happy that you are joining for this summit for all. The topic of what there is the dark side of media and information literacy. First of all, I want to say thank you for organizers, Knowledge Economy Forum, Deutsche Welle Akademie and other partners. Additional thank you for the Summit Foundator for Foreign Office of the Federal Republic of Germany. You already did a big job for creating possibility to join for the summit and to discuss about important topic. And topic is really important. How we know news and nowadays big stream of news and our competence to analyze them, understand where is fake news from real, learn to understand context. It's like a big platform where we have to find direct and true way. And it's not an easy task for everyone. This topic has a lot of aspects. Today we will discuss some of them. And of course, It's a very good opportunity to find about different practices, experiences of media literacy. We are sure that at the end of the day, these participants of this summit will be smarter and definitely will have more questions. We wish you be active and have a good summit. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Daukantas. Our next speaker will be Natascha Schwanke, who is the Director of Media Development at the DW Akademie.
Thank you. Yes, I would like to say welcome to everyone. And first of all, express my thanks to Your Excellency Matthias Sonn and to Mr. Tomas Daukantas. Of course, a very, very great thank you to the Knowledge Economy Forum and all the partners involved and all the people behind the scenes now to organize this, this great event, which is a premiere for us in many ways. And we're really excited to be able to do it. I would like to briefly maybe introduce us, Deutsche Welle Academy, because I'm not sure if everyone involved here is familiar with who we are. Many of you will certainly know Deutsche Welle. It's the Germany's international broadcaster at the moment. We are reaching out in 30 languages across the world to 250 million users every week. So the institution creating content and reaching out to a world community of users, Deutsche Welle, is familiar probably from several channels to many of you, but not all of you may know Deutsche Welle Akademie. We are a part of Deutsche Welle and we are the leading institution in Germany for media development. We've been working and striving for more than 60 years now to supporting and building structures in societies that will enable a free flow of information, independent media, and open public discourse. And for many, many decades, our main take has been to address media professionals, which means individual journalists, but also media organizations in their strive to become more professional, to live up to new challenges, new technologies, and to develop strong business models, which has become more critical than ever. Our USP, as you now say, is capacity building in the core. Knowledge exchange and sharing with media organizations and mainly media professionals. But in the last years, we have understood that professional media alone is not enough. It is, for me personally, quite bitter to see what is currently happening in the US. We have a system there that you may call highly developed, where information is available in abundance. Users in the US have the options to access information by a range of sometimes very, very professional media. They have fact-checking platforms, they have talk shows, they have highly qualified journalists and experts to inform them, and there are facts enough there. And yet we can see that it's not enough just to have quality information available. People are shaping their beliefs and their value systems regardless of facts that they may have access to. And what we see now is that free information does not necessarily make a better and more educated society. It's not enough to only provide the information in a high quality. So it's a time for questions, as we see. In the so-called attention economy we live in now, we can see that there are very professional systems in place and also a lot of economic power to shape public opinion. And are we, as citizens, aware of who these players are in this global game? Do we really know what their agenda is and how they work? In your countries, you have 98% of internet penetration. Almost everyone can access anything. And are you really aware of are you aware of the challenges of the task and the challenges and the risks also that this provides? We can see today that the responsibility of social media platforms and their huge power is luckily under scrutiny now and is in public discussion. But do we as users really understand about all of this? Do we know what's happening with our data? Do we know who's using it and for which purpose? I'll give you an example. I follow my husband on Twitter, but I never see any of his tweets in my timeline. So that's quite reassuring in a way, because I think maybe the algorithm isn't that smart after all. It doesn't seem to know that we're married. Maybe, though, the algorithm is quite smart because it knows that we've discussed everything over dinner anyways, and I don't need to read his tweets. Or maybe the algorithm is even smarter and knows that we don't even share that many interests. Do we really ask these questions? Would I know whom to ask in Twitter why I don't see my husband's tweets? No, I think there is still quite a lot of room to be covered, and that's why we are here today. At Deutsche Welle Academy, we believe that media and information literacy is a life skill of modern societies. And I would like to highlight that it's not only media literacy, but it's also information literacy. It's about understanding how communication works and how then it translates into opinion and action. That's a key to peace and stability of modern society as we see it. Therefore, some years ago already at Deutsche Welle Academy, we've shifted our spotlight of our work to the most important people in media development. Those that formerly we called audiences. Now we call them users. Because the people who consume media are now the ones who also create it and often produce it. Do they really know what they're doing? Are they aware of their responsibility? The pandemic has made it quite apparent how prone our societies, how prone every single one of us is to misinformation and disinformation. And I think it's very shocking to see how fast fake news spreads and what harm it can do. Therefore, the pandemic is an accelerator and it's an opportunity because it creates awareness for the importance of MIL. We can see that also in Germany, doors are open to discuss the relevance and importance of MIL. And I think that's something we should use this opportunity and walk through those doors. The challenge with MIL, Media and Information Literacy, is that it needs scaling. It needs to be really incorporated into society and into educational systems. Now that's a very, very big thing to do. And some countries have started and they're quite successful. It's great news to us to hear that responsible stakeholders in the Baltic states have recognized this and that the discussion is taking place and the doors are opening and people are walking through. At Deutsche Welle, we support MIL projects in practically all continents. And we've come up with some amazing progress in the last years in the countries of the Eastern Partnership, in Africa, in Latin America, in Asia, in the Middle East. We've been working with MIL organizations and we've often managed to take this work across the borders. So we've created a lot of smaller projects and supported organizations who are fighting for the cause, but we have also managed a lot of times to actually make MIL almost like a virus to actually travel across the borders and infect everyone with the importance and the chances of MIL. So for us, the Baltic MIL Summit is the grand finale of the first MIL project in the Baltic states. It's been funded by the German Foreign Office, but it's also intended to be the beginning of something new. And we hope that this conference will be a big success to you all. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Natascha, Schwanke, and thank you for sharing this personal example as well. It was very good to listen to. Now we go on. MIL has had different names. Evaldas, Rupkus, who is the project officer at Deutsche Welle Akademie? What do you mean by those three letters?
Thank you, Anna, and thank you all for opening this first MIL regional summit that we are having now from Lithuania. However, as you can see in the list of participants and also on the Padlet, we are in Caucasus, we are here in Germany, Norway, many different countries are joining and listening in. And if I see correctly, we already reached the 100 participants line. And the question, Anna, of what MIL stands for seems to be a simple one. However, if you would look back into history, that wasn't the easiest one. So I have some slides prepared also for you, so we can have it in a better structure, because some decades ago, we were talking about media and information literacy as two separate things. And with UNESCO's composite concept for media and information literacy, we are now covering, Salto Participation Information Center would say, around 18 topics that are covered by these simple three letters. So let me give you a short overview of what we at DW Academy really mean by that. And as Natascha was already talking, media today is not only one-way street anymore. We are, each of us who is on social media, and Baltics are very well represented over there, is in some sense or another a creator of media content. And that's why we need to talk also to those users about how media works and how media can be manipulated and what is opinion, what is a fact. So when we try to define, we could say media information literacy is a set of skills that every person should have for understanding and using media. Simple as that. However, there is more behind it. We are, by MIL, we are helping people to navigate media. And we, of course, go to this topic through the perspective of human rights. So we are talking about right to access information and expression. And these are the most important ones that we are trying to address with our work. And of course, young people are one of the vulnerable groups. And here we have over 100 those who are working with young people. And this is exactly how we work at DW Academy, that we address multipliers for them, then later on to scale up and to go even further into bringing media information literacy closer to target audiences. So, however, now recently we were really looking more and more into aspects of digital rights, because now I'll try to pronounce that one. Digital authoritarianism is on the rise. And this is something that we notice particularly now in terms of, you know, different limitations by governments being used in some countries for limiting also freedom of speech. And that's why media information literacy provides those skills that help to claim our rights, that help us to understand our rights, how online platforms work, what are the dangers of mass surveillance, and also about the cyber laws. As I said, there is a huge variety of topics when it comes to media information literacy, and it's not only about news literacy. It's not only about disinformation and propaganda. These are burning topics for sure. However, we also talk, and we heard some participants are going into aspects of film literacy, library literacy. There are many different aspects that are actually building up this whole concept of MIL, and we at the DW Academy decided to put it into 5 main skills. And we think that all starts with accessing information and media. So finding accurate information, being able to fact check the sources, statistics, and then taking this piece of media and analyzing. So questioning, where does it come from? Why is this author asking or producing or trying to tell me something? This is something that we quite often forget to ask about, the motives, why this message is being sent, because most of the media messages are constructed to reach some kind of benefit or power. So, and then what we think is crucial, particularly in education of media information literacy, is to give the chance to create your own media message. Simple as that, however, not so frequently used. And I think educators can use this really very well by just giving the chance for young people or for those who want to learn and gain media information literacy skills, for example, to just write a post for social media or create articles, audio, video, whatever. Because then we can experience how easy actually it is to make our own opinions to facts or to also manipulate some of the information. And then we like those who are willing to gain more MIL skills to reflect on what they have learned, to understand what rights they have, and of course, what obligations as media consumers they have, and then also to see this from a broader perspective. So media information literacy is just not self-standing for just everybody being able to better understand now a news portal or a newspaper or a TV show. It is all about citizen participation. It is all about us being active citizens and acting on that, what we have learned. So being able to protect our personal data online, to demand transparency from those who should be regulating, and to just, if you see something, report it to platforms that are actually responsible for the content to be moderated. So here we go on to the challenges, of which I will now mention only a couple because there are so many. So we talk not only about propaganda and populism, but also about cyberbullying, which is very relevant for many younger audiences and our target audiences at schools or youth centers, hate speech, misinformation, sextortion, many different aspects that we are actually trying to counteract to when we talk about media information literacy. Natascha Schwanke has already mentioned that we cover most of the different world regions, and I will give you just a little glimpse to what kind of projects we do actually have. And tomorrow in the Barcamp, I think our partners from Media Development Fund in Georgia will share also some of their very practical tools, how they are debunking those disinformation messages that are being sent. And Caucasus, as we know, is still in quite a vulnerable situation. So they do have quite a bit of experience on that. Then what I would like to mention is a TV show on media information literacy that we have in Myanmar, which is also a great way how broadcasters can create even more awareness on those topics. And then today in the panel discussion, Nadine Gogu from Moldova is actually the pioneer, not only in Moldova, but even in the whole Europe, to be successfully to integrate MIL into general school curricula and starting from primary schools. And this is really something that we should have a very good look at because Moldova has a success story to tell. And Namibia, we have an absolutely different approach where we collect young people on weekend basis to learn about different media, and then they go into their communities and work with other young people on peer-to-peer basis as young trainers. So there are very different ways how we can do it. So why not to do it on ourselves? And as we have seen, there are many different aspects that we are trying to address by media information literacy. And I'm very glad that today we are looking, as the motto says, into dark side of media information literacy, which isn't that dark if we really take the light of media information literacy education into our hands and we do it proactively. So thank you, Ačiū, Paldies, Aita, for your attention, and I'm looking forward to our keynote from our partners in Serbia.